Hey, welcome back. Kurt here. We're going to do another frequently asked question, which is basically what are the pros and cons of being in a franchise system? And again, I'm just going off the cuff here. The pros are that, in my opinion, you're basically copying somebody who's already proven the model to work. You'll see on some forums that, I wouldn't buy a franchise unless they're giving me leads. Like, that's not the point. Like, no offense, like if I was developing leads in your city, I could just sell them to inspectors and not deal with all the headaches that come with having a whole franchise company. So the point of a franchise really is to have a business model and training and IP that has already been proven, established, and sort of streamlined so that you don't make all the mistakes that us as franchisors made while we were building our businesses. I've been doing this for 15 years. Trust me when I tell you, lots of mistakes were made along the way. The cons are you don't really have control over, you don't always have the final say in how the marketing, messaging, outreach, that whole thing happens. Like, it's already done, it's already gone through, which is great news if you're like, hey, I just want to execute. I want to go talk to realtors. I want to tell them what we do. I want to know how to do it. I want to have all that training built out so that when I drop a new inspector in, they're fully trained up by the time they are out in the field with me, or have a office staff like fully trained up before like they're even answering the phones. And we have all that. It's all training and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you're the kind of person that wants to make videos like this and train people and sort of like create all of that, then the franchise you're going to see that as a con. Now, fast forward a year from now. Let's say, I don't want to like make promises of what kind of revenue you could do, but let's just say my first year in Phoenix, again, I moved from Colorado to Phoenix, if you heard my story, and basically right in the middle of COVID, didn't know anybody. I literally didn't know one person in Phoenix, and had no referral sources. So when I started the business here, we did about 150,000 in revenue the first year. Couldn't meet with anybody face to face. There were no sales meetings at real estate offices. None of that stuff was happening, right? So if you're able to duplicate that, the frustration might come in that you're paying a royalty. In our case, the royalty is 5%. Our competitors, it's as high as 10, 11, 12%. But you have to understand though, when you pay the franchise company a royalty, that means that we are vested in your success, because the more you make, the more you do, the more money the franchise company makes. And then of course, on like sort of another layer on that cake is that if we could show you how to do 150 your first year and 300 your second year, whatever the numbers end up being, then we could take that example and go, hey, this person did it, this person did it, and then the next franchisee goes, oh, well, I want a piece of that too. But again, we have a lot of all the marketing stuff done. So if you want to be sitting on websites and talking to graphic designers and creating logos and making flyers and writing blogs, then the franchise is not going to be right for you because it's all done already. We have almost 100,000 words on our website. We have everything done for SEO. If you were to come on board, we SEO each page for the location. We have all of the training that teaches you how to do social media. So again, these are all the pros of a franchise versus if you're like, hey, I want to figure all that out on my own, then you're going to see some of the stuff that's already done for you that you pay for as a con. But I'll remind you, if you were to start a home inspection business tomorrow and duplicate what we've done many times, I'll give you an example. We had a franchisee in Florida, and I think in their third year, they were tracking to do like 400,000 in revenue. So I want you to ask yourself, honestly, if you think you started an inspection company today, could you do 150,000 the first year? Could you do 220,000 the first year? Could you do 400,000 in the third year, fourth year? And so what I'll say is that, if you don't feel like you could do that on your own, then who cares what the percentage is? Because even if it was 50%, if I said, okay, your business, whatever franchise is going to be, I can show you how to do $1 million a year and take home whatever percentage of that. And you were like, oh yeah, that's great. And I was like, okay, well, it's a 50% royalty, and really you're going to do, $2 million a year. Would you really care if you were taking home that chunk of your million that you were happy about? So that's the way to think of it. The royalty is there to incentivize the franchising company to continue to support you, coach you, help you, and make you as successful as possible. Because without it, you would still be figuring everything out on your own. So that's my opinions of the pros and the cons of having a franchise. So I hope that if you have more questions, put some feedback, because I'm happy. If I didn't think of it right now, I'm happy to make another video that answers some questions that I forgot to answer. All right, we'll see you on the next one.